Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is Paddock Live. That is Joe Smith, looking absolutely fabulous. Chef's kiss, or fashionista's kiss, in your Christmas jumper, in your Christmas tea tank top.
Well, it's more of a sort of sweater vest, but yeah, whatever you want to call it.
Nice.
What are we talking about today?
We're talking about Cody Gakpo, of course. We're talking about Vlavic.
Yeah.
Vlavic. Yeah? Talk about him. Also, we're going to have Adam McCullough for Last Man Standing in Betvice. He's going to be talking about Arsenal and whether the World Cup has scuppered their title chances, if indeed they had any. And we'll also be talking about investors in Manchester United. United are for sale. Who's coming in? Are they going to spend any money? Are the good times ahead? Do you know what I mean? You like all that, don't you?
I love good times.
You love good times. So do I. Do get involved in the chat and the comments and let us know what you think about any or all them stories. First of all, don't forget, 30th of December, me, him, McCullough, Howson, McClare, yes,
The
Brian
show
McClare.
of a lifetime.
Look at that. Look at that absolute smorgasbord of relatively, slightly known people and a legend.
Yeah.
Yes. A bona fide Manchester United legend.
Live in Dublin, the 30th of December. Come down, come check us out, watch the show, join us afterwards, say hello, all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah, a bit of
Come
mingling.
down. Yeah,
Definitely
and there's
a bit
still
of
some
mingling.
tickets left.
Yes.
So get a ticket while you still can.
Well
all
said.
right?
There's a link in the description. So make sure you check them out.
Yeah.
Also, in fact, not also. Yeah, let's start with Gakpo. Sorry. Not
Also
only, but
Gakpo.
also, as Dudley Moore and Peter Cook used to say. So I'll let you run through this, Arkid.
United are planning a €50 million bid for Cody Gakpo once the January window opens. Who's the source on this? Telegraph. Jason Burt from the Telegraph says
like
that,
him.
as reported by the Telegraph, the Reds have identified the Dutchman as a replacement for Cristiano Ronaldo. What, on the bench doing fuck all? The attacker impressed at the World Cup in Qatar, scoring 3 times before the Netherlands' quarter-final defeat to Argentina. He has also scored 13 times and provided 17 assists for PSV so far this season. I mean, if it's happening in the Telegraph, if Jason Burt's a reliable journalist, he's not just someone who's making stuff up, I'd be really surprised if we didn't get him. I'm at that stage with it. I think there's no reason why we won't get him.
Yeah.
What do you think? How could we not get him?
Like you say, Jason Burt is pretty reliable. Everything seems to point towards this happening. It really does. I would be surprised if we didn't.
Yeah.
The question is, for me, and I want him, is he good enough? Does he come into the team? Because I think if everyone's fit, and I know that's a big if you've got Marcus, you've got Martial, and you've got Anthony, that's your front three.
Yeah.
It is.
As it stands, yeah.
Yeah. Now, you've got Jadon Sancho, Alejandro Garnacho, and
Elanga.
Anthony Elanga. I feel like they're sort of rotational players who I know it might sound crazy because Jadon Sancho, I'm not rating him off by any stretch, and he cost 72 million quid or whatever it was.
But he's not playing now, is he?
He's not playing.
No.
Plus, Marcus is on fire. Martial's an out-and-out striker, and Anthony costs you €100 million. So I just feel like, the question is he going to come in and just be a sub almost for some games?
Yeah.
I do think you need to rotate. I've said that all along. You look at Manchester City and other clubs that have had success. By and large, they've rotated. And I think that's what we need to do when the games are coming thick and fast. 50 million quid or 50 million euros in the modern era for Manchester United isn't that much.
No.
So it all, it makes a lot of sense. I'm not bothered too much about his World Cup performances. 3 goals in the World Cup, yeah, that's great. For me, it's the other stuff, the 30 goal involvements this season so far, which is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
That impresses me. What do you make of him?
Yeah, I like him. I think he's really good. I think people are always not number 9, but I don't think we'll get to Vlavic in a minute, and I don't think that will happen. But there aren't many top class or even sort of approaching top class number 9s available in January. Yeah. So you can't get someone who isn't available. Yeah. So maybe Gakpo isn't the number 9 that we need, but that doesn't mean we don't need a winger.
No.
Like you said there, we've got, in terms of first choice, we've got Rashford, Anthony, Sancho, Elanga, but I don't think anyone's assuming Elanga's going to be the player that takes us to a Premier League title. Am I forgetting someone?
So Rashford, Martial.
But if Martial's playing up front...
Sorry.
So Rashford, Anthony,
Garnacho.
Sancho, Garnacho. They're the 4.
Yeah.
But Garnacho's unproven, to say the least. He's played about six times for Manchester
Got to be
United.
careful with Garnacho. You don't want to burn him out You don't become over-reliant on him.
Exactly. Anthony is also unproven. I think he looks very good, but you can't say by any means that he's, a dead cert to sort of take us to trophies. We don't have a particularly stacked forward line at the moment. So
you want injury away.
Yeah.
Sorry, maybe 2 injuries away from being in trouble.
Well, as it stands now, like Sancho's not playing. So imagine if Rashford gets a 3-month injury.
You lose Marcus Rashford in that front three, you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Because you've got a player there. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off then. You've got Anthony, who we like, and he's a good player.
Yeah.
You can't rely on Anthony to get you double figures in goals. You can't rely on him to get you, even anywhere near 20 goals this season. I don't think he will. Martial, he's great, and it's great to see him back in the team. But he's had so many injury issues.
Yeah.
There's no way you can say, well, he's going to be fit for the rest of the season.
No.
So, and then Sancho at the moment is having individual training, and I believe he'll come good. I fully back the kid, but he's not. If you're having individual training to work on whatever issues you got, you're not ready at the minute to sort of spearhead a title challenge or whatever.
And this is the thing. Just because Gakpo isn't the number 9 we need, that doesn't mean he isn't the winger that we need.
Yeah.
You can't. It's not like, he's not good enough, so don't get him. If he's good enough to play as a winger, I think we need a winger, so get him.
Yeah.
It's not his fault that Haaland isn't available this January. I think if he's available, we need wingers. Bring him in.
The one good thing about all this, I will say, is it's got Erik ten Hag's fingerprints all over it. Doesn't feel like this is a move the club have gone. We've got a player,
dirty little grip on it, hasn't
rubby
it?
little hands on it.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like this is one where the club have gone, well, we've got this player we've been monitoring for years and we think you should get him, like they've done in the past.
We don't monitor players though.
No, we don't.
We just play FIFA and buy them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Has he got loads of special cards on FIFA? Yeah, buy him.
Get him. So it's obviously someone Erik ten Hag knows, wants. That fills me with confidence. I'm getting a bit carried away with Erik ten Hag. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm beginning to think this guy's a real deal. And, I know you've got to be cautious because it's only like 3 or 4 months into the season or whatever. But he just seems to get so much right, and especially with his signings, that if he wants him, I'm like, there's a reason behind it. Get him.
Do you know something else as well? And this might be a bit basic, but when you look at the teams who have had really good managers, other than maybe Conte at Tottenham right now, pretty much, if you have a really good manager, you win a trophy.
Yeah.
Like you look at Chelsea, they got Tuchel in, won the Champions League immediately. Yeah. Obviously, that's they've fallen away a little bit since then. But like Klopp is a really good manager, came in, won loads of trophies. Pep is a really good manager, came in, won loads of trophies. It's not only Pep that wins trophies in England.
No.
Chelsea have won the Champions League, Liverpool have won the Champions League under Pep's sort of watch. So it's not impossible. If you get a really good manager, and you might not win the Premier League 5 times out of the next 7 years like Pep's doing, but there's plenty of other silverware available for you to be successful and maybe one day dethrone Guardiola. Do you know what I mean? It's not. I feel like, we brought Jose in, we didn't win the trophies we wanted to, but we won trophies. Louis van Gaal won trophies. If you get a really good manager, you do win trophies. Like, I don't think United are as far off as we like to, or not like to think, we are scared to sort of admit.
I saw an interview with Graham Souness before he lost the plot completely and became something of a parody. And it was like from the noughties. And he said that when he was Liverpool manager in the early 90s, or when he was at Liverpool, he always used to say, if that lot down the road get their act together, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
And it feels like we're like talking about United. Obviously, this was like the late 80s, early 90s when we weren't, and then we started in the 90s winning everything. And it feels like now. I feel like, and there's lots of ifs and buts and all that sort of stuff, and we'll get to the new owners.
And if ifs and buts were candy nuts, we'd all have a jolly good Christmas.
Exactly. But with this manager, if you give him the right backing, and if we were to get some proper investment and owners that aren't proper parasitic knobheads, then there's every chance United can get winning titles again. I firmly believe that. I don't think it'll be this season. But, look at United, look at the stature and size of the club. If you've got a manager who knows what he's doing, you've got the money to buy players, and we already spend money, but to go and get the big boys, you're an attractive club, because you are the biggest club in England by a country mile, then, we can get the players in that we need, and we've got the manager we need. Yeah, so Cody Gakpo, anyway, I digress, could be the answer. Matt Novicic, who's been a member of the academy for 11 months, says, let's go, boys. Season is back, and starting with a win. Love Erik ten Hag, and love this club. Agree with all that. Love this club. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Who's next on the hit list?
Dusan Vlavic.
Is it Vlahovic?
I think I've seen Vlahovic. I've seen Vlavic, where it's sort of blended into, Vlavic. I've seen Vlahovic. I think as long as you're saying it, you do.
Vlahovic.
Right. Yeah, Dusan Vlahovic, open to leaving Juventus in January amid Arsenal and United interest. Recent reports in Italy suggested United have entered the race for Vlahovic, with Erik ten Hag eager to bring in a centre-forward in January, with Anthony Martial the only recognised option through the middle. Since moving to Juventus, Vlavic has scored 16 goals and provided 4 assists in 36 appearances and recently represented Serbia at the World Cup. Still very young. I think he's 22 or 23. Still a very young player as far as sort of number 9s are concerned. But Juve have been shit at the time he's been there. And it's hard to know, innit, where you look at players that United have brought in the past, whether we're shit because we've got bad players or our players look worse because we're shit. Someone like Memphis Depay or Daley Blind, those sorts of players.
Yeah.
Did they not do as well as they could because we weren't very good, or were they the reasons we weren't very good? So maybe Vlavic is not scoring enough goals, which is why Juve are struggling, or maybe he's playing in a struggling team. That sort of drags everyone down. We saw that with Marcus. We saw that with different players for United last season. Maybe if you came to someone like United, you could see the player that he looked like he was going to be before he moved there.
Do you feel, just on this point, Anthony Martial is only recognised option through the middle? And I've been the biggest sort of proponent of the Marcus is better on the left and Marcus should play on the left. So before you all start going through old videos, if you wanted to do that and clipping me up, I have always said that. But you look at Marcus now, the way he's playing. You look at the fact that he has played through the middle and down the right and been scoring worldies. You know, his goal last night was coming from the right-hand side.
Yeah. The ones he got against Arsenal were from the middle.
Yeah. Like, he's doing the business, not just on the left. He's not just that player who, under Ollie, was almost exclusively cutting in from the left and scoring with his right foot. I mean, he's doing it across all front three positions. Do you feel like Marcus now, you can say he's a good number 9 option, or do you still feel that he is someone you should say, no, we need to play him on the left?
It depends, really, because the number 9s over the last 6 or 7 years have been something different to what they've been throughout most of football.
Yeah.
So the most successful teams in England have been Liverpool, who have been playing Roberto Firmino when he was fit, and even when he's fit, he's not a traditional number 9. No, he's a sort of drop deep kind of, as we've heard, defensive forward, where he isn't really a poacher, doesn't really score that many goals, chips in with assists, he's good on the ball, but isn't really good in front of goal. Yeah. Then you look at City, they've had, I mean, the classic example is their only number 9 was Gabriel Jesus, and he was their second choice number 9. Yeah. So, the top teams in Europe, other than, top teams in England, have won the big trophies without recognised traditional number 9 goal scorers. Now, weirdly, they've both gone out and bought a 6'2" plus, getting behind sort of tapping merchant in Darwin Núñez and Haaland respectively. Yeah, that's kind of going away from that. But I don't think you necessarily need someone like that, as those two teams have proven. You don't need a big bulky number 9 these days in order to play a system well enough to win trophies. So I think Rashford could play like that, where you force situations where you make these sort of mini counter-attacks where you draw the team onto you and then you play the ball in behind, creating space in behind even deep lines, and people like Rashford's pace can be exploited and used against teams that are sitting back. I think under Van Gaal we struggled so much against, if you sat deep, we can't break you down. No. Even look at the Burnley game last night, that first goal, they were sat so deep, and in the past we'd have really struggled against that. And what we did is we let Aaron Wan-Bissaka stay wide. You put the ball to the back post. That pass that Bruno played to Wan-Bissaka is a pass that Liverpool have been playing, is a pass that City have been playing non-stop for the last 5 or 6 years. Yeah. Clip ball to the back post, overlap, overload at the back post, pull the ball into the middle of the box, tap-ins. Yeah. You don't necessarily need a number 9 to convert a tap-in. That's why Raheem Sterling got 30-plus goals 2 years ago, because they create chances for players. They don't force their players to create chances. Yeah. So I think United could play Marcus Rashford as a number 9.
Look at what he's adding to his game as well. Heading. I saw Marcus Rashford score 2 headers in 5 years. Yeah. He scored 2 in a week not long ago.
2 in 5 days.
Yeah, literally. Like, he's adding so many different assets to his game, and I'm thinking, do you know what? I always felt with Marcus there was another level, and I think we're going to see it. And can he play down the middle? Yeah, he probably can. Yeah. And I think that, if it was a case of, Vlahovic down the middle or Marcus, you'd probably say Marcus is your safer option. Yeah. Because even though this kid is probably a more out-and-out number 9, he's not proven in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? I'll just get in some of the comments before we move on. Someone's saying I'm doing a little C-pop for my pose there. Andrew Scott says Vlahovic isn't what we're after. V Cobra says not impressed by Vlahovic. No. Ed says Blind was good, just didn't have the pace. I agree with all that.
Or the system, I don't think.
Yeah, I think Daley Blind on the ball was class. He just, you needed the right foil for him. I think was there a time, was it Eric Bailly or someone was playing alongside Smalling, was playing alongside him and complimented him really well, and that worked for a little spell.
Yeah, but then we couldn't score any goals, and ended up putting loads of pressure on the defence, and they sort of crumbled a little bit.
It just got a bit rubbish.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Speaking of not being able to score any goals.
Yeah, that's not what you want. Make sure you hit that like button. Should we move on? Should we listen to Adam McCullough, who's been chatting to Bet Victor as part of Last Man Standing with some other rivals. Here's what them lot had to say.
Arsenal, weirdly, haven't had an awful World Cup. They played nearly half as many as few minutes as the City players.
Probably picked up the worst injury out of everyone.
What, Gabriel Jesus? Yeah. What do you think
in terms of the importance of the team and what he means to them? Because whilst I think, yes, he didn't score all their goals, he still had a healthy amount of goals. He didn't score all their goals. He was a lot more to the team than just his goals. And Eddie Nketiah coming in, whilst he has scored goals here and there when he started, to be relied upon every week is going to be difficult. I think they've got some tricky games coming up as well. And the length of that injury, it's like, is it 3 months possibly?
Yeah, end of Feb, it's been reported at the moment.
So whilst most of their players probably didn't pick up fatigue and stuff, and Saka's come back confident and all those kind of things, they've picked up the worst injury probably out of the teams at the top 6.
So that's Adam McCullough as part of Last Fan Standing with Bet Victor. Go and check them out. There's a link in the description. Get involved in the chat and comments. And apologies if in the middle of that video, you got me and him popping up there. A bit of a technical
We were just watching the video.
Yeah, we were just watching the video. When it comes to Arsenal, I mean, obviously we talk about injuries and without Jesus, who they can rely on. Yeah. Do you see them in a title challenge now? I know they're top of the league, but do you when you think of Arsenal, do you go Arsenal in a title race, or do you just think they're keeping it warm until City take it?
I think they're probably too fragile to win it with this squad that they've got. I think they've got the first team, when it's performing, can obviously beat anyone. Yeah. But Jesus, did he score against United? He didn't, did he?
No.
But he
didn't, did he?
I thought he gave Varane his hardest game this season.
Yeah.
I thought he's the only one who made Varane look like he was struggling a little bit. And I think he's really important for them. Even if I don't think he's a top player, I think he's by far the best striker they've got. Because if you're looking at Eddie Nketiah to get you 20 goals this season, it's not going to happen. I just don't see how they keep winning without that goal scorer in there. I know Saka looks good, and this whole thing about players getting a rest during the World Cup, but I don't think the team that plays the least games wins the most games. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I understand that players getting rested and not being overworked, that leads to better performances. But you look at the team that wins the league, they're doing, it's City or Liverpool typically, and they're doing pretty well in the Champions League every season as well. It's not easy to win the league regardless of how many games you play. I don't think, they got an extra week's rest so they're going to win the league now. No. Something that's happening in 6 months' time. I don't think the players that came back slightly earlier from the World Cup playing for Arsenal will feel much benefit 6 months' time than they're feeling now. I don't buy that. So I think they're going to struggle to keep it up.
I just wonder how much of the Jesus thing is it's almost like he doesn't score goals, but he's the one that makes them tick. He's our guy. He's the one. It's all about him. That's the narrative that's building. And I wonder if that narrative is happening within the Arsenal squad. Are the Arsenal players believing this? Yeah. Are they going, thank God we've got Gabriel Jesus. He's the guy who's going to feed Saka, who's going to feed Martinelli, who's going to, cause issues for the defenders that we're playing against? Or are they actually thinking, you know what, we're all right. We can stick Martinelli down the middle. Or whatever, or Eddie Nketiah, or we've got Saka, he's on fire. We'll be fine. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out. I think that the issue with Arsenal, and this is historic with Arsenal, they've always been bottlers, really, haven't they? Yeah. When it starts going wrong, they implode. Yeah. They kick off with each other. They fall out. The fans will have a meltdown, and it all just goes wrong. So if they have a wobble, if they say lost 2 out of the next 5 games or whatever, and then recovered, then you think, okay, maybe there's a bit about them. Because City do that. City will lose games and then go on a 21-game winning run. Yeah. And just that's the end of the title race.
And no offence to Arsenal, the closest, if they won the league this season, the closest we have seen to that, I would say in the Premier League era, certainly post 2000, is Leicester. Yeah. In terms of how little they were expected to win it. It's not obviously anywhere near Leicester, but that's the closest thing to it. Everyone else who's won the league has been predicted to be 1 or 2 the season before. No. So if they were to do that, they would have to do what Leicester did, which, like you said, is when they lost a game, they just won the next one.
Yeah.
And they lost a few games, but they didn't follow it up with a draw, another loss. Like now all of a sudden you've dropped 9 points or whatever it is. They would lose one and then win 2, draw 1, win 5.
Yeah.
Like that's how they had their bad spells. They just overcame them immediately, and that'll be the key with Arsenal, because they are going to lose some games. And so far, they lost to United, started winning again.
Yeah.
So they've got the good signs so far, but it's that post-Christmas when you have a dip, when you lose one, you get knocked out of the Champions League, and then you draw the next game. What do the next 5 matches look like? Because if they end up dropping 10 points in 5 games, it's over.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that you make a good point about Leicester similarities. I think the one big difference for me with the Leicester season was they didn't have a City there. They didn't have a top challenger.
No.
Tottenham were chasing them throughout that season and ended up finishing 3rd.
Yeah.
Arsenal sort of had a little bit of a rally.
United
Arsenal obviously
shit the bed.
beat them at the Emirates with that last-minute Danny Welbeck winner, but they never really got going into a title challenge. United, as you said, shit the bed, and it was a rare occasion where the likes of Chelsea and City and just weren't involved in that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Arsenal. Listen, if it was between Arsenal and City, I'd take Arsenal winning the title. I really would. I'm sick of seeing City winning the title.
Yeah.
I might be in the minority on that one though, but I do think it's going to end up down the road at the Etihad again, unfortunately. Just for now anyway, until we start winning them again. Get involved in Last Man Standing. Let them know what you think. Say that Stretford Paddock sent you. Give them a comment. Give them a bit of feedback. Let them know. There's a link in the description. Do you agree with what Maka was saying? Do you agree with what the other guys are saying? Do you think Arsenal are in this title race? Do you think Jesus' injury in the World Cup has thrown a spanner in the works? Don't forget as well to hit like this video. Come on, people. There's over 1,000 people watching. We haven't even barely got 100 likes. Should we talk about something else? Should we move on?
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
Too much going on at the minute.
About
United
this
for sale.
handsome devil. Hey? This lady killer.
He is, yeah. I mean, wow. What can you say about him that haven't that
hasn't been said already?
Yeah.
He's very good looking.
Yeah.
And he's good at owning Manchester United.
he's got a touch of the Fabergés about him, hasn't he?
I don't like to comment on people's appearance, right?
No, because
I'm portly.
disgusting.
I'm a disgusting, portly man, right? Who's lucky I've managed to find someone who'll stay with me.
Naughty little badger, aren't you?
Yes, I'm a naughty little badger.
I don't know what that means. Have you ever seen a badger in real life? They're bigger than you think. There's like dogs running around the countryside and no one's saying anything.
Yeah. Seriously?
Yeah.
I know that Hermann Goering introduced the badger into Nazi Germany.
Did he?
Yeah.
When we talk about badgers, I'm talking about Smirnoff Ice and Guinness.
Is that what they're called?
Cocktail.
All right, I don't think
the
he introduced the badgers, the animal I'm talking
Oh,
about.
right.
And they're still there, and the Nazis have long gone. So badgers 1, Nazis 0. That's what I always chant.
Nice.
On my own. Yeah. Anyway, aside from being a naughty little badger, I'm also someone presenting the show with you.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Would you like to talk us through this one?
There, Jay. Potential Saudi and Qatari investment following talks in Qatar with Avram Glazer. United co-owner Avram Glazer held talks with potential investors, including from Saudi Arabia and Qatar, during a Doha trip. Nature of the talks unclear, but comes amid Rain Group aiming for full United sale in Q1 of 2023 at around 6 to 7 billion. That's from David Ornstein. For anyone who doesn't know, Rain Group is the sort of conglomerate business thing that kind of they helped sell Chelsea. They helped almost sell Man United to B Sky B in 1999. Before that was sort of put on ice by the was it the FA or the government?
I think the government might have weighed in that one.
Yeah.
There's a bit more.
Yeah, there have been previous discussions with Saudi Arabia regarding investment in United, as well as talks with Dubai-based investment funds. Avram Glazer also bought a cricket franchise in United Arab Emirates T20 Cricket League. The talks come after Saudi Arabia Sports Minister Prince Abdulaziz bin Turki Al Faisal said he hoped his compatriots invested in United or rivals Liverpool, who are also up for sale.
Well done. There was a lot to get through there. You did really well there. Great reading. Elite reading there.
Do you remember
Mr.
that time
Smith?
you brought a cricket franchise, but it was just the insects? £14 million down the drain, wasn't it? You still hear them rubbing their little legs together at night time.
Hey, they were mint crickets, though. They were top tier.
Yeah, they were.
He didn't lie to me.
No.
He said some of the best crickets available.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
This cricket franchise, wow.
Mate.
These guys go around the world.
Go on.
So we're looking at, this is the sort of Middle Eastern sort of segment of Manchester United's sale process, isn't it? I would assume that this kind of tour of the world and sort of pinpointing the most likely investors from every continent, country, region, area of the world will be going on. Don't know how Haaland's agent basically went around everywhere like, do you want him? Let's have a chat. Let's have a coffee.
Yeah.
Do you want him? So like
Like
I
Paul
don't
Ince with Tom Ince back in the day.
exactly right.
Yeah.
But that was, where Haaland was your Madrids, your Barca's, your Man Cities. That was more
Your Blackpools, your Hulls.
your Blackpools, your Hulls, your Chorlton on
Udinese.
Medlocks.
Yeah. Because he was like, he could be going to Inter, he could be going to Real Madrid, and he's got a Hull.
He's got a Hull.
Stoke have shown a bit of interest, but we're going with Hull. Listen, it's a weird one, this, because I fucking hate him with a violent passion. And I want rid of him, and I want new owners. It's what we've been gunning for the last 17 years. We're dying for the last 17 years. However, I don't want my club to be a sports washing enterprise. Yeah. I want my club to be a football club that, yes, there's nothing wrong with having investors from the Middle East. Yeah. I'm not saying, I don't like it when people go, well, I don't want anyone from the Middle East. Well, that's wrong. There's nothing wrong with having businessmen or businesswomen from that region. Yeah. What I don't want is us to become the sort of front for a government. No. I'm not into that, because that's what I've took the mick out of the PSG and City and Newcastle for.
And the problem is,
more than sort of mick, I've slammed them for it.
Yeah, with a lot of this as well is, obviously, the way that it will be packaged and sort of put to us as fans and put to the FA and put to the government will be, it's not the government of Saudi Arabia or the government of Qatar or the royal family of this country. Yeah. It is private investors.
That's what Newcastle did,
but it is not true.
Yeah.
It is so thinly veiled that the head of the Public Investment Fund is part of the royal family.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I just happen to run it and fund it and get all the money for it.
Why don't they just get Dave Jones to do it?
The former Cardiff manager?
Yeah. No one would think he's part of the Saudi Arabian royal
Dave
family.
Jones?
Yeah.
That is him, isn't it?
Yeah.
But this is the thing. So it's like they're going to present it to us as like it's not the royal family, it's just some private investors, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then everyone will go, oh yeah, that's true. But when you dig even slightly below the surface, all of the rumours and reports that we're hearing so far is that it will be state-backed or whatever, and I just can't support that. I fucking hate that.
I won't back it.
No, and you can go into the particular human rights issues of any given country, and I'm not saying that Saudi Arabia is the same as Qatar, because it isn't. They're two separate places, and they have different things and different things that we need to look at, and we will look at those particular things depending on who seems to be a frontrunner at any given time. But I wouldn't want anyone from the British government or the American government or the Icelandic government. I don't want to be owned by a government.
Jim Ratcliffe is not the British government.
No.
Do you know what I mean? He isn't. And even though I hate the Glazers, they're not the American government.
No.
They're, private business owners. So there is a difference there. And I think we need to remember that. And, you make a great point. And like you say, we'll see who ends up buying and owning Manchester United, and then we'll make a judgment on that. But I'm with you. You look at it, it's like, if it's the Saudi Arabian government, the government that's responsible for the death of the journalist Jamal Khashoggi, I'm not about that.
No.
And I won't just go along for that ride. I'm sorry. Jake Harvey says, I'm spending my Christmas outside Eccles Morrison's to see if any potential buyers use the cash machines. Yeah. That's when I said I saw Jim Ratcliffe taking money out of Eccles' cash machine at Morrison's to buy United. And my missus messaged me and went, is that true?
Yeah. No. What kind of car do you have to have a £6 billion limit on a cash machine? I think mine's £250, which I've never actually done before, actually. I'd love that one day, wouldn't you? Maxing it out. Go into the cash and get 250 quid out. Oh,
that's a pipe dream.
Who am I? The Rockefeller?
Hey,
that's insane.
How old are you? The Rockefeller? That's like what my mum and dad say. Who am I, buddy? John Rockefeller. What?
Well, I don't know.
Right, we're going to wrap it up there. Thanks to everyone who got involved. Don't forget to go and check out Adam McCullough at Last Man Standing for Bet Victor. Get involved in the chat and the comments. Don't let them off the hook. Let them know. Say, what you're talking about.
Arsenal are shit.
Yeah, go in and say that. Say that Stretford Paddock sent you. Joe Smith, where can people find you?
At home chilling over Christmas.
Until the 30th of December, when you'll be in Dublin with me, with Steve, with Macca, and with that man, Brian McClare. So come and join us if you can. Our first live event as Stretford Paddock. We appreciate your support. We'll have a reet laugh. It'll be good to catch up. And we'll do a bit of mingling as well and say hello to everyone. So yeah, it'll be a right laugh. That's been Joe. I've been Jay. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.